clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion, and he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Okay. I honestly don't remember which one we were doing. I think we were doing Sky Ripper, I believe, but I could be wrong. Okay. Because I think we did some Iblis Stones, so boop. Actually, you know what? Let's try one of these real quick.
Realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause, and maybe Renato could use that somehow.
Let's see. Which one was this? Where's the Lapino? Okay. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he didn't.
We can skip this for now. I can't remember everything that happened with freaking Lapino, but I don't want to do the ending bit yet again. But I think there's a different way about it, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
Rabbit hole, I believe.
The Ravens had
I just
taken
have to remember to find
Renato
it.
had seen villages empty like this. All the people taken away to be sacrificed
right here.
in the Emperor's secret rituals. Renato hoped the people were just hiding.
It's like somewhere over here. Yep. Okay, we're just not doing the rest of this time. Because it kind of sucked. Let's go. That music changed though. Okay. Yeah, I can't go anywhere.
Renato hoped this port had been inspected recently. ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top
This
spies
is the way I
like
just
Lupino.
came, but
Well,
you know.
Unless he really was a traitor, obviously. Then they'd probably pin a medal on his chest.
Guess I have to do this. Oh, hey, I have a point. Oh, now I get to pick another one that I want to do. I really should do this one next. Okay.
Hey, you guys interested in real estate? You're about to buy the farm.
Oh shit, forgot. That's okay, I'm still doing it. Wait, do I already have the core too? I can't tell with that little guy. Because he has like 2 different colors. I guess we'll find out. There he is.
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing.
That's still funny.
Like, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a
The
deal.
ravens are coming.
They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia.
No.
We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He always had a soft spot for her. And
I actually
felt
think we
sure
did all of those
She had
parts.
one for him. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper.
I gotta check out
Even
the
if he couldn't get
choices
the
we've
whole
already done.
thing. It must have great power.
Okay, let's see. Rescue Lupino, find Zenobia. Reject Lupino's plan, trust Zenobia. Find Zenobia, accept Lupino's plan. Oh shit. Wait. I think these are the different ones, right? Okay, so... Oops. What happens if we don't find her? No, let's do this one.
The transcendent emperor had
Huh.
It's beautiful here, thought Renato. It was nice to be back with his old war buddy. All right. Lupino was a traitor. But still, it was good company.
Yeah, I guess so.
There was something sour in the air.
Renato felt
Too bad.
wrong all over. He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest was quieter than it had been. There were insects, a few birds, if you didn't count the ravens. Renato smelled sick animals and dying ones, but no healthy ones. I'm
That's
getting a
not
bad feeling about this.
comforting at all.
Renato thought. Maybe Lapina was right. Maybe they should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of coming here.
Nah, because then we would have to kill her. Remember that last time we had to kill her? That was a tough one. That was a beautiful kill. And we found it already.
As he held the radiant icosahedron, Renato felt queasy. Like dozens of tiny worms were nibbling his insides.
It wasn't healthy to be so close to the eye of a god. How could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its ancient power. But honestly, Renato ached to get away from it.
He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Renato ached to be rid of it.
Tell you what, said Lapino. I'll take it to the observatory. You attack the Imperial outpost. The Imperial outpost was a vital communications node. Taking it could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Renato.
But what if Lapino lost the core to the Empire? That could be a good thing, couldn't it? Was Renato ready to take that risk?
Well,
Maybe it was
already know
better
what
if
it
he
needs to
brought
do.
the core to the scientists himself.
They're gonna be dead. They're always dead.
Trust me, Renato, you
Well,
won't regret
no.
this.
I'll
I'm
treat the
wrong.
core
There
like
was
it's
the
my
one
own
time
big
that they were
daughter.
actually alive.
As the Farfarer dived towards the Nexus, Lapino was jumping up and down with excitement. Stop rabbiting around, Renato said. Lapino just stared at him. The moment the ship landed, Lapino leapt off the ship.
Oh, my favorite tunes. Once more. I can't get over this music.
As Lapino vanished
just so
into the
good.
wilds of the Nexus, Renato vaguely remembered Lapino had a baby daughter, didn't he? And he told her mother he was going out to get some Easter eggs, and he'd never come back.
What an
But
asshole.
Renato was relieved not to carry the core anymore.
That's so
He was
terrible.
already feeling better. And who knows, maybe this time Lapino would get it right.
He's not
And
gonna
if
get it
Renato could
right.
take the outpost, he'd have access to
He's
all
gonna,
the Empire's
like-
communications. in
He's
the
gonna
sector.
betray us. We know this.
Right?
It's a fact.
Ravens didn't smell any better dead, Renato thought.
He's gonna betray us and kill us either way, so you know, we know how this is gonna go. He's a very devious rabbit. Oh, hold on. Okay. Also, I'm surprised I can play right now because I slept on my right wrist, and then it's like not. It's actually not affecting it, which is good, but weird at the same time. Yeah, because I totally jacked up my wrist. And of course, it's the hand that's my dominant hand. So it's usually the left hand actually, but it's not this time. At least I can still play games. I was playing the Professor leading new game, or actually it's his daughter in the new game, but because I forgot I hadn't finished it yet, but I started playing that again on my DS. And it's super fun. Actually, let's go this way. Oh, I can't. It's broken. That's another great series if you've never played the Professor Layton games.
Bernardo had opened
Really
the
good.
chest, and a Jack-in-the-Box jumped out. Jack-in-the-Boxes, they gave him the Wiggins.
The Wiggins.
Renato caught his breath. His joints still hurt, but he couldn't feel the poison in his system anymore.
He'd let the armature slip out of his hands to save his friend Lupino. Of course he had to let Lupino take the core. The rebellion needed every man doing his duty. And the rabbit would be no good taking on an Imperial outpost, right?
You never know. He's kind of nutso, so.
Renato took the outpost with a song in his heart. Soon, he was stuffing his sack with key messages from and to the fleet. Then the far speaker toad chortled a new message. The observatory had been sacked by ravens. Lupino and all the scientists had been taken to the mountains. Why? Why had he trusted Lupino again? And now the Empire had the core.
Yep.
Renato hailed the rebel base to warn them.
Well, I have to do this
Their
route
far
twice.
speaker did not fight back. Was the base under attack too?
Frick. You know what? Let's leave Lupino to his fate.
Lupino would have
first.
to wait. The core would have to wait. Renato had a very bad feeling that something was going terribly wrong at the rebel base. Its location was secret, but secrets can be discovered. There were Imperials everywhere in the ruins, and dead civilians.
Oh.
The Ravens were killing everything in sight.
How sparkly.
Renato was relieved to see no rebels among the dead. Maybe the secret base was still secret, but there were huge
I'm
burn
not
marks
so
and
sure
buildings.
about that, dude.
What monstrous weapon was the Empire using here? The core had great power. Had they harnessed it somehow, even though they didn't have the armature?
Anastasia had been the first woman who'd ever tried to convince Renato he was smart. He knew he wasn't nearly as clever as he thought he was. But she'd pushed him to think things through. She had a vision of him that was better than his own. Thought about the intel he'd gathered from the outpost. Who would he bring it to? Who even had time to read it? Don't get ahead of yourself, lad. Smell charred flesh and hear screams. The ruins were on fire. But the Ravens had rigged up the core as some kind of burning ray. They wouldn't need to know the secret location. They were burning everything. It was killing them too. Their black feathers littered the path. He would have to take the core from them. It was the last thing he wanted to do.
Man, this isn't gonna end well at all. Definitely not gonna end well. Really? It's okay. I went the opposite direction, didn't I?
Renato hated gogglers, but it freaked him out to cut them.
Holy crap, that took me like the easy way. I need to remember that.
The rebel base seemed quiet. That was
That's
good.
awesome. I love that.
Also, it seemed to be burning.
I keep finding like secret ways to like do this now, and it's pretty cool.
Welcome to Earth.
Renato told the corpses. It was something he'd seen in a play once.
A play. Oh man, oh man. Holy shit. My controller's vibrating like crazy.
As the last Raven fell,
Renato felt worse than he ever had. The core was killing him. Again. The council members cautiously came out into the smoke. "You saved us," croaked the speaker. They would put the weaponized core deep in a cavern, she promised, where its poison could harm no one. They would heal him if they could, she said.
Huh.
No. It's a weapon now. We need one. I'll lead the charge. "It will kill you," croaked the speaker.
Oh shit.
"I guess it already has," Renato said.
That's not
She bobbed her
good.
head gravely. "When all this is over," she said, "we'll name our new capital city for you." He flew
Wow.
towards the Imperial fleet. A myriad ships in disciplined formation, waiting for the signal to destroy the rebellion forever. Behind him, the rebels were charging. If he failed, they would die. And so the final battle began.
Huh. Interesting. Dun, 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 dun.
Everything hurt. It was unpleasant to
A
fight
capital
this way.
idea.
With each blow he struck with his sword, he felt weaker. Yet each time
Yeah,
the
he's
core
dying.
fired,
He's
it felt
literally
brighter,
dying.
as if the heat from the burning ravens and buildings only fed its hunger. He wondered where Lapino was. Wasn't he supposed to be in the battle?
Well, you know he's a traitor and all.
No. He'd been captured, hadn't he? Oh, Renato's mind was smoky now, like the burning fleet.
Actually, where would this take me?
He hoped this wouldn't take long.
Because I've never thought to do it before. Fire the core on the Emperor. Okay.
The portal was heavily guarded. It must go someplace they really didn't want him to go.
Oh, I was about to say that's different. But it took a minute to load. This one actually took me on to the ship. Alright.
Reynardo-opolis. Vulpus Major. Lando Nardo.
Lando Nardo.
If they were going to name a capital city after him, well, he just wished he had a better name. Where was Lapino? He missed Lapino's bitter outbursts. Or did he? Lapino had gotten him into this mess, hadn't he? The core was a wonderful weapon. It swept fire across the fleet. Ravens exploded in its gaze, and with every heartbeat, it grew brighter. He would die. But he would die every inch a hero. Spectacularly, changing history, like the legendary heroes of lore. Or is it war? I couldn't remember anymore. Renato fell to his knees. The Emperor's bodyguards were lined up before his ship. Fierce ravens, all. And Zenobia. She was conjuring. He could not take another step. All he could do was fire the core. The ravens, Zenobia, the ship, all burst into flames, disintegrated, and blew away. So they had one, after all. The core grew brighter. He shielded his eyes, but he could still see it through his sleeves and through the flesh of his arm. And then he felt heat, as the fire grew to consume both fleets.
Yeah, they all died.
And then he felt nothing.
Yep, they just all died again. Oh. Okay. The story name is one of the like names he couldn't find a better name for a city, so they chose it as the story name. A hero who goes down in a blaze of glory. Nice. Okay. Now let's do the other option. Yo, it's food. Okay, that was weird.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion.
Yep.
And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Alright.
Renato finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause. And maybe Renato could use that somehow.
There's gotta be another
Lapino.
option to open up,
Apparently,
because
the mad
there's
rabbit
usually
sold
3
a Pegasus
options.
that he did not exactly own.
Weird.
Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time.
Huh.
But he was out of time.
Okay. There's too much empty space on that page. There's gotta be another option that I haven't discovered yet. Dun, 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 dun.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen the
Alright,
wing of
let's
horse.
find him
He'd
once
only
more.
sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the ravens? The
Nice.
ravens had taken the town. Renato had seen villages emptied like this. All the people taken away to be sacrificed in the Emperor's secret rituals. Renato hoped the people were just hiding. Now, dootsie-doo. Ravens were were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Well, unless he really was a traitor, obviously. Then they'd probably pin a medal on his chest.
Here he is.
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger.
We
Okay.
capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows. And that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him.
On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power. To make the Sky Ripper,
It's beautiful here, thought Renato. It was nice to be back with his old war buddy. All right. Lupino was a traitor. But still, it was good company.
there was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
This looks so unsafe right here.
Renato felt wrong all over. He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest was quieter than it had been. There were insects, but few birds, if you didn't count the ravens. Renato smelled sick animals and dying ones. No help. I'm getting a bad feeling about this, Renato thought. Maybe Lupino was right. Maybe he should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of punishing her.
Oh yeah, like we're like 1 point from that that level up. Jeez.
As he held the radiant icosahedron,
Yes,
Renato felt queasy. Like dozens of tiny worms were nibbling his insides.
It wasn't
sounds
healthy to be
gross.
so close to the eye of a god. How could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its
They're all
ancient
dead.
power. But honestly, Renato ached to get away from it.
He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Renato ached to be rid of it.
Tell you what, said Lupino. I'll take it to the observatory. You attack the Imperial outpost. The Imperial outpost was a vital communications node. Taking it could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps, and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Reynardo.
But what if Lapino lost the core to the Empire? That could be a good thing, couldn't it? Was Reynardo ready to take that risk? Maybe it was better if he brought the core to the scientists himself.
Was it this one? No. It's down here somewhere. Oh, this one. Oh, I still have to do the outpost, I think, again.
Trust me, Reynardo, you won't regret this. I'll treat the core like it was my own baby daughter.
As the Farfarer dived towards the Nexus, Lapino was jumping up and down with excitement. "Stop rabbiting around," Reynardo said. Lapino just
As Lapino vanished into the wilds of the Nexus, Reynardo vaguely remembered Lapino, but Reynardo...
Yeah, I can skip it. I honestly get too much joy out of the fact that I can skip some stuff. I just don't like repetitive shit. It gets old. Probably the fighting bit does not get old for me.
Already Reynardo knew more than he ever had.
We leveled up.
But about what?
Actually, let's... yeah. Let's go with the Void Blade for a little bit. I can show you the world. Honestly surprised how long it took me to start singing that song. Now I want to rewatch all that. I thought about not opening it, but I actually want some health. And where to go?
Reynardo caught his breath. His joints still hurt, but he couldn't feel the poison in his system anymore.
He'd let the armature slip out of his hands to save his friend Lapino. Of course he had to let Lapino take the core. The rebellion needed every man doing his duty. And the rabbit would be no good taking on an Imperial outpost, right?
I'm not gonna be able to get that song stuck out of my head now. This is a problem. It's such a good song. Such a good movie. I haven't watched it in like ages, but it's just so good. voice.
Renato took the outpost with a song in his heart. Soon, he was stuffing his sack with key messages from and to the fleet. Then the far speaker toad chortled a new message. The observatory had been sacked by ravens.
Well, that's funny. My actual Twitch app on my computer is actually updating right now.
Why? Why had he trusted
That's
Lapino again? And now the Empire had the core.
Now we do this one.
Renato hailed the rebel base to
Hey.
warn them. But their far speaker didn't close back. Was the base under attack too?
Let's do it. Even though he's a traitor, he's terrible.
Who knew what was going on at the base? But he knew what the ravens would do to Lapino if Renato didn't rescue him fast.
Well, actually, he wasn't exactly sure. It kind of depended on whether Lapino was a traitor or not. Renato just couldn't bring himself to believe that.
Dude,
What are all friends
he
for?
killed you twice.
Stuff to need rescuing every few days.
He killed you first. That was super weird.
Renato felt a twinge of
My
doubt.
DualShock disconnected. What the
Should he have
heck?
gone to the base?
That was so
No.
weird. My freaking
Logically,
controller
wherever they'd taken
disconnected.
Lapino was probably
And I
where
don't
they
know
took
why.
the core, right? Oh,
That
why
was
couldn't Lapino have just, for once,
weirdest
not
shit.
got himself captured? Was that too much to ask?
Freaking
He shouldn't
weird.
be too hard on the rabbit. No, he meant well, and he was insanely brave.
Like, I have a
You have to
fully
admire
charged controller, and it disconnected for some reason.
Say, how you guys fix some life insurance?
Oh shit! I forgot. I knew I saw a glowy thing, but I wasn't paying attention. It's not one thing. There's something else going on with me whenever I'm trying to stream. It's fine though. At least the Twitch, like the stream, didn't completely like die. That happened before. Alright. Just trying to decide which way I want to go. That part of it is always creepy, that music.
Where were they holding Lapino anyway? There was no sign of him or the ravens who'd captured him. Just
See, it's still
rocks
stuck in my
and
head.
snow and the usual stuff.
I'm gonna have to, like,
sign of
think
the
of another
core,
song,
either.
like, super quick.
Wild rabbit chase? Oh, trust Lapino to screw up even getting captured. But what was this rebellion for anyway? Lapino threw into this goof. But he was a friend. If friends didn't matter anymore, what was the point of winning this war?
I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. Really, the war is pointless at this point. I mean, it's not pointless, but it's kind of pointless. That freaking suck. I'm gonna have to end up, like, later on tonight. I'm gonna end up putting this song on and, like, putting it on repeat for a little bit. This is such a good song. Such a classic. God dang it, Disney. Why you gotta always make the really good songs? I really should start going at the other side. I think I did it once and then I just have not done it since.
Renato thought about the intel he'd gathered from the outpost. Who would he bring it to? Who even had time to read it?
What?
At the end of the mountain path, Renato came to
This
a
is
clearing.
new.
There was a campfire, raven feathers, and Lupino's lucky deck of cards. Well, that wasn't good. Renato hoped Lupino would not try to cheat his captors at cards. Ravens were much better than weasels at counting, and they had a very poor sense of humor.
Then, he saw what he had hoped never to see. Fresh scraps of rabbit fur.
Oh shit, did he die?
Ragged and bloody, ravens would eat anything.
By Crabthar's hammer! Renato screamed at the sky. I will avenge you! The rebels had assembled their fleet.
Okay.
Ahead,
So he died?
The clouds were dark.
Without
with
us
Imperial
killing him?
ships. If he could reach the Emperor before the rest of the rebels did,
That's weird.
maybe he could settle this without too much bloodshed.
Okay.
And the Farfarer shot forward.
Wow. I didn't expect that. But I also feel like there's a twist coming. There's usually a twist coming. Not sure. Not sure how I feel about this. Alright.
Poor Lupino had never been a great warrior. The mad rabbit was good for a lark and a laugh. And a pint. The thought of ravens eating him made Renato furious. The way they were eating up the land. The way the Emperor was eating up the people with his new, bloodthirsty ways. He would make them all pay.
Okay, I guess he is actually dead. If they're like, yo, you gotta avenge him now. So, wait, what was this one? Hook shot damage, and then, let's continue with the stats.
The portal led right into the middle of the fleet. It was a glaring weakness in the defense.
He had given up every objective to save his friend.
He'd given up the armature, the core, the gem, and even Zenobia. He loved Lupino, he realized. Now the rabbit was gone. A hero looks out for his friends, even when they're gone.
He loved him?
He would send Lupino an honor guard of ravens to serve him in the halls.
He realized he loved... What?
He would avenge him.
What kind of weird shit is that? I'm all for, you know... I'm all for the LGBT romancing, of course. But... I don't know how I feel about that. This time around. It's like they slapped it on there. It was like, hey, so he's a traitor and I love him. Like, after he, like, his like, bad deeds makes him get, like, skewered and killed by ravens. I don't know how I feel about that. It's weird. It's a little weird. But okay, we'll go with that. Unless they meant it in like a friend way, then that's also great. That's good. I like male friendship. It's good. It's a nice, solid foundation. But I feel like they meant it the other way. It's weird. But it's okay. It's cool. It's whatever. It's and we're at the end again. Oh, close to it anyway. That music got a little eerie.
Finally, he reached the Emperor's ship. And there was Lupino, surrounded by ravens. He was alive. They'd eaten some other
Wait,
rabbit.
what?
Oh,
I fucking know.
you! He shouted with joy and flung himself at the ravens.
Oh.
Oh, you shouldn't have, said Lupino when the last raven was down. Renato threw his arms around his best friend.
Okay, it wasn't a male in like a friendship
I love
way.
you, man. You really, really shouldn't have,
Yep,
said Lupino.
I was right.
And Renato felt a rather sharp pain in his back.
I knew it.
As he collapsed, Lupino took the dagger out of Renato's back and wiped it off on Renato's sleeve.
He's still a traitor, no matter what.
Why? You always have to be the hero. Brave Renato, epic Renato, super sexy Renato. I'm sick of it. As Renato died,
Wow.
all he could think was,
Yeah.
damn it, food again.
He's just a traitor. That you just get used to that, dude. Okay, which one was that? Yay. Okay. We're still missing two. I wonder if it's on the other, one. A hero who places friendship above all else. Okay. Well, I guess we might as well do the other one. But I totally said, I was like, it's still gonna end badly. Of course, he killed us again. Freaking Lupino. Freaking Lupino. He's
The clouds
a terrible
parted
human
over the
being.
Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer.
Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced, but using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact, It could corrupt its user into a monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course. Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion.
Yep.
And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Yep. Okay.
Renato finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause.
And maybe Renato could use that somehow.
Let's do it.
Working for the Empire. He'd never exactly seen Lapino sending coded messages to the palace, but he was sure. The rabbit had been on too many disastrous missions where he was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames.
You know
If
what that
Renato
reminds
could
me
prevent
of?
Lapino from getting back to the
Hamilton.
fleet with all the intelligence
Except
he'd
it's
probably
Ehrenberg,
gathered,
like,
might
surviving
be
over
worth
and
the
over and over
trip.
again, even though he's, like, terrible human being. Yeah.
How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together.
Should odd
Lapino had
acquaintance
talked
be
Renato out of
forgotten?
prison at least 4
Probably.
times. And Renato had rescued Lapino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
He's, terrible. So, yeah. He should definitely... This time we confront him, but... I think I'll have to go look at the choices again.
But he'd always felt that the rabbit resented him. Lapino
Yeah,
was
he does.
hilarious because he was so down on himself and everyone else.
He definitely resents him.
Behind the laughs, he wasn't a happy camper. Oh, was this payback? Or did the Empire have his little white tail in a vice?
No, it's not that. He just, he kind of hates our guts. That's pretty much it. He hates us. He's jealous and envy got the better of him, and he's just really pissed about it. Nice.
Ravens were landing everywhere from dropships. He'd have to be very careful about how he played Lapino. At the slightest hint of danger, the mad rabbit would take off like a rabbit. Bloody and
Alrighty.
exhausted, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Now that he knew what the rabbit was, there were a few things about him that Renato didn't find so amusing anymore. You sent me an urgent message saying that you're in danger. Oh, I am. The Ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia. Renato wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not
I
falling
think I
for
did
it."
that one the last
But if there was
time.
one thing Renato was sure of, it
We
was
gotta
that the
look at the
core of the
things.
Sky River was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Isengrim III might blow himself and his fleet up with it. Yes, that was it.
Let's see. Okay, did that. Find Zenobia, reject Lapino's plan, trust Zenobia. I don't remember. I feel like... Okay, where's the one? There's one where... Oh. Find the core, attack the outpost with the council. Yeah, I'm still not sure what to do. Okay. I think this one, like straight up, like he like kills you. I'm pretty sure.
Ronaldo felt like a real hero.
That's what
brave
happened.
and smart. He told the rabbit all about the Sky Ripper's God's Eye core.
I'll go get the core while you attack Zenobia.
But it doesn't
He told
give
the
you an
rabbit.
end.
But wait, I
You
knew
just
better
die
idea.
and it
I'll
restarts
get
all
the
over
core,
again.
and you attack Zenobia, said the rabbit.
Right, yeah, that is better, agreed Ronaldo. Perfect. The traitor would make sure the Emperor got the core. Now Ronaldo just needed the Emperor to use the core. If he could only get something that the Emperor wanted very badly.
Zenobia.
Zenobia. He could save her and bait the Emperor at the same time.
I wonder.
Right. Now,
Thinking.
all Ronaldo had to do was fight his way through Zenobia's invading troops, sneak onto her ship and into her bedroom, and kidnap her without any of her dozens of guards alerting her.
Then he would rely on her love for him to convince her how evil her father was, so she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up.
It did sound a little risky. But Ronaldo had a feeling it would work out somehow.
I think we
It
did
always
this
did.
one, so maybe if we change it, we change the choice, maybe it'll change what happens. Maybe. We'll see. Let's see how it goes. Here comes a fight. I love the way they fly off. It's great. It's awesome. Can I go? Yeah. There. Sometimes think about going that other way and I'm like, nah, that one's actually really harder to do. Oh.
Two eyes good. One eye dead.
Activate. There you go. There he is.
Ronaldo was halfway to Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up. He was disheveled and distraught.
They jumped us. I barely got away. Oh, they got the core.
Ooh,
An
it was
airplane
all
is,
going
like,
according to
flying
plan,
over-
thought Ronaldo. Now he just
overhead.
needed Zenobia on his side. Yes, that was even better. The Iblis stone. Zenobia could get it.
And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait. No. The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her.
Yep.
That's it, he thought. Even Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor. He would try to make himself Emperor. And the Emperor would have to defend himself with the core. Boom. He was a super genius.
I did that one. This is... Yeah, I did send Lapino last time. Let's send Zenobia.
And so, Bernardo set about getting himself captured by Zenobia to turn her against her father. Once she knew the truth about her father's plans for her, he sent her to fetch the Iblis Stone. Unfortunately, once she had it, the Iblis Stone took hold of her.
Yep.
In a rage, she decided to assassinate her father and become Empress. Bernardo pursued her to the final battle to stop her becoming evil. Zenobia slew the Emperor. Lapino shot Zenobia. Bernardo killed Lapino. Bittersweet victory without
God.
hand. But then the core exploded, destroying both the Imperial and Rebel fleets.
Wow.
Death, Dark Ages, the usual thing. They tried something bold and paid the price.
Oh my god. So we have to redo that again? So there's no way to do that option? What the heck? That's so wild. That's so wild. Oh my god. This game, I swear. So you have to... You
Right.
actually...
Now, all Renato had to do was fight his way through Zenobia's
Okay.
invading troops, sneak onto her ship and into
So,
her bedroom, and
we have no
kidnap her
choice
without
but
any of her
to
dozens of
send
guards
him.
alerting her.
Then he would rely on her love for him to convince her how evil her father was. So she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up.
It did sound a little risky. But Renato had a feeling it would work out somehow. It always did.
Not sure yet. It's so weird though. It's like, hey, you die if you try to do anything but go with the plan. Okay.
See? Your color looks good on you.
Wait, can I go this way? No, it's blocked off. Oh wait. No, it's not a hook over there. Yo, why can't those chests have energy anymore? I kinda need more energy than I need health right now. Is there a way? Nope. Shit. I almost fell right into that. go again.
Bernardo was halfway to Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up.
Can I
He was
skip?
disheveled and distraught.
They
Part.
jumped us.
No,
I barely got away.
won't let me skip
Oh, they got the core.
this
Oh, it was
stupid
all going according to plan, thought
part.
Bernardo.
Now he just needed Zenobia on his side. Yes, that was even better. The Iblis Stone. Zenobia could get it. And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait. No. The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her. That's it, he thought. Even Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor. He would try to make himself Emperor. And the Emperor would have to defend himself with the core. Boom. He was a super genius.
Alright.
This is terrible, Bernardo told the rabbit. If only I had gone for the Iblis Stone. But now it's lost in enemy territory. He handed Lapino a map. It gives the bearer so much power. We can only hope the Emperor never finds it.
What was that? Said Lapino. I think someone's following us.
I didn't hear anything.
Rabbit ears. You go on ahead. I'll check it out.
And with that, Lapino hopped off with the map.
Yeah, okay. Oops, not the one I was trying to grab.
Yeah!
How close am I? Very close. Nice.
Bernardo slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all.
Being a creep.
She was curled up on her bed.
Most creepy.
He'd forgotten how beautiful she was.
Screep.
How sleek.
Skip.
How soft.
Can I
He tapped her on the
You won't
shoulder
let
with
me
his
skip this
sword.
creepy shit.
She was made of smoke, and he noticed he had a very solid blade to his throat. Did you really think you could capture me? Purred a familiar voice. I just wanted to chat, said Renato. Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He needs a sacrifice. Someone who truly loves him, to make a bargain with the lost gods. That's a vicious lie. He wants to bring them back. Oh, that's crazy. Why would anyone... They could make him immortal. An eater of souls. And with that, her eyes widened. She understood. Renato told her how he had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred. How he had slept in a burnt village. At midnight, the Emperor's victims had come to him in his dreams to tell him of the hideous eldritch rituals they'd been sacrificed in. He could still see those kittens and puppies. Their wide, sad eyes, their moist noses. You can't prove that. I've got a witness at the observatory.
So we straight up... I'm wondering if it's gonna make me do, like... I won't have a choice anymore to do stuff. So how it ends is how it
Couldn't
ends.
tell her.
wants to know about Zaddy. Because I haven't had a choice, pretty much, but I'm still missing some stuffs, some of the other little endings, so I'm not sure. I'm like essentially speed running at this point.
Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing?
I mean, maybe. I'm still not sure. Give me a choice at the end or not. Ah, this thing again.
A cannon
Fuck.
trap.
Frick.
Who kept these things loaded anyway?
The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them. Yeah, they're still dead regardless. So that eye is really weird though. The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken special care to burn the reanimated witness
I'll
to
have a
cinders.
choice now, I
Zenobia
think, right?
stared at the carnage.
Maybe.
He didn't want me to hear the witness, did he? I guess not. What's your plan? She asked. So, Renato explained his brilliant gambit. Sending Lapino to get the Iblastone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him, thus blowing up both of them, and hopefully the fleet too. Let me visit your council, she said, shaken.
Okay.
I want to help. Could he really
Oh no,
trust her?
I have another one. Yes. Okay.
She said she had an errand to run, so they met up sometime later in the mountains. She seemed different. It seemed she'd gone and knocked Lapino out with drowsy gas and taken the Iblastone from him.
Oh,
Whoa,
shit.
what? No, that wasn't a plan. I know. Your plan was terrible. Now where's the council? Couldn't we
God.
just go somewhere? Quiet, Talk this over? You lying son of a bitch. They're not here. Her sword was bloody.
Oh,
I
no.
told you the truth. Well, mostly. I'm going to kill my father now. But first, I'm
Oh
going to kill
shit.
you.
Oh
And
shit.
that is exactly what she did.
Oh my god.
He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
What the hell? Oh my god. What the hell? This game. My god. This is so weird.
He couldn't tell her, not yet, why he was really here.
That's so dumb. Game, let me just give me that other decision. That's all I want. It's not that hard. So close. This game, I swear. Oh, I just realized I'm moving like super fast now, but I forgot one of the things I grabbed at the altar was to like make me move faster. Yeah, I'm like running really fast now. To the point, it's kind of weird now. That's so
Ready to take on
crazy.
new powers. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them. Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows, Zenobia? Who knows? I actually know someone named Zenobia in real life, which is kind of cool. She attended the church I used to go to. She's a really nice lady. Yo, that speed though, and the fact that I still can like make him go faster is insane.
Magical energy balls, immune to the laws of gravity.
Ah, here we go. Just wanted to get over there quick. Here we are once again.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken special care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders.
Alright, here we
Zenobia
go.
stared at the carnage. He didn't want me to hear the witness, did
He
so?
did not.
Renato explained his brilliant gambit. sending Lapino to get the Iblistone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him, thus blowing up both of them, and hopefully the fleet too. "Let me visit your council," she said, shaken. "I want to help."
Well, we know what happens if we
really
can't
trust her?
go to the mountains, because she's just gonna kill us. So,
He'd done it. He'd made Zenobia see how evil her...
yes, we know. It's raining now in the game. Dun, dun.
What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council?
Getting that
Had he made a
Iblistone.
mistake, sending her to the ruins?
Yes, you did.
No.
You definitely
He
did.
knew they could trust each other. He could trust her because she never broke her word.
Oh wait, I've
And she
already
could
done
trust
that. I've
him because
actually,
she could see right through him.
I got 100%
Well,
speed
she'd
movement now,
probably be there well before
so
him.
I can increase
She
the
at least didn't have to
stamina.
fight her way to rainstorms of ravens.
Okay. Well, I didn't even realize we were getting health back when we now
Renato
hit.
thought about Hypatia's kid. Poor, dumb Peter. Cut down by a goggler. He wondered if Peter had known he was protecting the Book of Destinies.
That's
Or was
right.
he just another
That's how
brave
this
kid,
began.
making his mummy proud?
That poor kid who died protecting the book. Oh,
As he came around the bend, there was Lapino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblistone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it. Anyone ever tell you have a lovely eye? No?
turn. Turn. Oh shit.
Rosebud. He said
Oh,
to
shit.
no one in particular.
I fucking
died.
forgot. There's two of them right there. Oh shit, I hit the quit button. God damn it, why did I hit the quit button? Oh crap, I'm gonna redo this all over again. What the hell? Oh my god. Oh my god, how did I do that? How did I do that? Wow. That's nice. Jeez. Jeez, Daisha.
What had Zenobia gone off to do?
Okay.
What was more important than
It's not
meeting the
as
Rebel
far
Council?
down
Had he
as I
made a
thought I
mistake,
was.
sending her to the
It's
ruins?
just the beginning of the chapter. It's fine.
No. He knew they could trust each other. He
Wouldn't
could
take
trust
me
her
that
because
long.
she never broke her word. And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way through rainstorms of ravens. Why hadn't the kid opened the Book of Destinies? At least he'd have known about that gobbler. Why hadn't Hypatia opened it? War. And this was kind of terrifying. What if they had? And what had happened had been the best future they could find. As he came around the bend, there was Lupino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. That meant she had the Iblis Stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it.
Oh yeah, I think this is the back way.
It's really sliced like ham. The
The
long
back way I
stairs.
found last time.
So he was close to the rebel base.
Yep.
Nothing was on fire. So far, so good. Do we have to stop?
I wonder. There has to be another choice. Somehow.
Everyone in the council chamber was dead.
Oh shit.
Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood. Why?
Oh girl.
He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Well, not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had
Oh,
a plan. She had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No.
Yep.
You can't.
You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way,
Oh,
or I'll kill you too.
I have to do this one. Oh god. Oh man. Oh man. Alright. I guess we're doing
Board her
this.
ship and sail off. A few days later, the sun dimmed. A great void opened
Oh,
in
let
the
me
sky.
guess. Is gonna be a I died thing. Yeah.
It stretched and ripped like a vast fatal womb. And a gaze, black and pitiless as the sun passed through the void into the land. And so the lost god Iblis once again came into the zone. And time stopped.
Yeah. Yep.
He had
God
tried something
damn
bold
it.
and paid the price for it.
What the hell? This route is the worst. It's like the actual worst. Oh my god. This game. Why? Why do they keep doing this to me? I don't understand. This is why I don't like this route.
What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the
This is
rebel
dumb.
council? Had he made a
This is so
mistake,
dumb.
sending her to the ruins? No. He knew they could trust each other. He could trust her
Dumb,
because
dumb,
she never broke her
dumb
word.
route.
And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way through rainstorms of ravens.
Silly.
As he came around the bend, there was Lupino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis stone. What would it do to her? He had to...
I don't know, it makes her crazy.
Here, fishy!
Okay. Whoa. One sec. All right.
type.
The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Alrighty then.
Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood.
Why?
He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
Well, we know what we can't do, so.
You won't kill me, he said. And I won't let you kill the Emperor. Enraged, she raised the sword. You hate him too? He could sense the Iblastone, yearning for his death. But she didn't strike. If you kill him, he'll destroy you. I know you. Shut up! She shouted, her sword trembling. I won't lose you again. Not for anything. Get away from me, he said, and he was very close. I can't lose you again. And he was in reach of her sword now. I hate him! I hate you too! I love you, he said for the very first time. And then she was weeping.
Oh my gosh.
He was holding her. The sword had dropped from her hand.
Oh
He
boy.
glanced at the Iblastone. It was no longer the black of the void. It looked like coal. No. It glowed, like a cinder. It was crackling, burning, crumbling into ashes. You've always loved me, haven't you? She said. She was weak. The stone had taken so much from her. Always, he said. She staggered as he helped her up.
Still get the
Let me
feels.
take you away. Where? The island of Avalon. The sisters will heal you. He will follow us.
wait.
And we need the Farfarer, the fastest ship in the Empire.
Isn't there two choices on here? I don't remember. Well. Okay.
The Empire had seized his ship. They'd have to take it back.
Unless this is the same end that I got when I did like finish the main game part. But I'm not sure. I can't tell yet. I wonder if it will change. Duh.
Renato had a feeling that was the back door to something. But what?
Oh, it's snowing. that snow. It's so pretty. So pretty. Oh, I guess I have to go on the thing. Yeah. Oh wait, no, there's a ship right there, I forgot.
There it was, his beautiful skycraft, the Farfarer. They would fare very far indeed, beyond the Empire, beyond the reach of the Empire, to the mystical island of Avalon. He didn't know exactly where it was, but he knew he could find it. And they would find peace there. Second star on the right, and straight on till morning.
Still gives me my
laughed
favorite quote.
Zenobia. And they laughed together for the first time in a long time. Dropped any loot, and no one ever wanted the feathers.
Oh shit, I got stuck. Oh. I was about to say, huh? So much more. I got like a lot of experience with that one. It's nice.
But they did not go unnoticed. Scout ships lifted off, and the long lance of the Imperial flagship. Renato turned downwind to gain speed. The Raven ships could pursue, but they couldn't close. The Farspeaker croaked, "Return her and live!" "Go sacrifice yourself," yelled Renato. "Then you won't have her either." On the flagship, The Emperor was readying some arcane weapon. It couldn't be. It was the core. A devastating beam lanced out of the flagship. Bernardo zigzagged wildly to keep the Farfare out of it. Now the Raven scout ships were closing the distance. And the beam was getting closer too. Then came a blinding flash. And the air was searingly hot all around him. There was a thunderous, deafening roar. He could smell burnt oak and burnt feathers and burnt flesh. But when he could hear and see again, they were alive and unhurt. And they were alone in the sky. Zenobia embraced him. They had done it. Through luck and through love, they had won the war. "Avalon, here we come," he said as he held her arms wide in the prow of the boat and let her feel its speed. Maybe the real Avalon is wherever we're together.
The fluff. So
And
much
so,
fluff.
after a bit of an argument, Reynardo and Zenobia went to one of the two
So,
Avalons.
Is that like
The
the
one
only?
shrouded in mists,
Is this the?
or the one in their hearts.
The only way you
But
can
which
end?
one they went to, I'll never tell.
Okay.
He'd
Yeah.
done it. He'd forged his own destiny. Well, he
Yeah.
hadn't actually done it. But he knew what he would do. Reynardo smiled at the book. He practically wanted to kiss it. The
Yes,
kid's
I know.
sacrifice
Can I skip
hadn't
this
been
part,
in
though?
vain. He'd saved the book and
So
saved
there's
the
no
world.
way to get that other end. That's
Reynardo
weird.
owed him and his mother so much. Reynardo lowered the mainsail and let the Farfarer shoot forward in the breeze. Second star to the right, and straight on till morning.
How the hell do you
This
get
time,
the other ends?
he would win.
How? For the Lupino, how do you get the other ends? It makes no sense at all. Skip it. I guess I'll find that out at some point. But I have not found the way to do that. That's weird. That is so weird. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go a different way this time then. Different route. Not the Lupino ones.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer.
Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Reynardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. And he had a gut feeling that he
Not
needed to
doing
use
that
that to his
one.
advantage.
Because I'm assuming you have to unlock something on these other ones. Alright. Let's do the,
Every child
Sky
knew
Ripper.
about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces deep. As he set foot on the island, Reynardo couldn't help feeling a bit curious. Was Lupino still waiting to be rescued?
probably not.
He was probably drinking champagne with the ravens. Did ravens drink champagne? Did rabbits? Reynardo felt oddly thirsty, come to think of it. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Reynardo never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much, just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
Didn't your mother tell you it's rude to stare? Snapped Renato, a little smug.
Oh. I apparently cleared that whole level without thinking that I did. Come on. Thank you. I like straight up like chop that dude in half.
That had been his mistake before. Not trusting Zenobia's feelings for him. But how could he have known? After all these years of silence?
I don't need it right now. I think there's just a chest on that side. Oh, I guess I have to go through here. Oh no, this is the middle one that I have to go through. Got him. I've been really good at that.
Hey, you're kind of cute. Not really.
I mean, like, I didn't get hit once while doing that. Come on. Activate. There we go. Time go cheese.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How is it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
Find Zenobia. Find the core. I think I need to do Zenobia route again.
Renato asked himself,
Truth is, though, he wanted to see her, wasn't it? It had been a dozen years since Swordfu School. He'd followed every rumor about her, every scrap of news. Not that he still loved her. After all, she was his enemy. No, it was solely because, know your enemy. All right, maybe he should stop pretending. He knew exactly how she felt about him. But their love affair always ended with a tragic death. Unless, maybe he could find a way to dodge tragedy. Surely he could, couldn't he?
Really? Oh no, it's not the bad one. Thought this was the part that I hated. Oh, I think I know what it is. Yep, I forgot.
He couldn't do worse with Zenobia than he'd done with the core, could he?
Yes, yes, he can.
Renato wasn't entirely sure how he was going to capture Zenobia. She'd be expecting him. And he didn't have Lapino to cook up a clever plan. Why was it again that he hadn't got the core? Maybe because the results tended to be disastrous. These streets were familiar. The Swordfu School was closed now, but he had been down that street 1,000 times. He knew that pub. He knew that alley. He knew the alley behind it much too well. No wonder Zenobia had chosen to invade this island herself.
Here we are.
Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was...
That makes no sense. It's a trap,
shouted the Emperor.
I'll meet you at the outpost, and I'll bring my interrogators.
If Renato came face to face with the Emperor, maybe he could assassinate him. But maybe it would be smarter and safer to turn Zenobia against her father.
Do the other one. I think. Yeah.
You're lying, she said. Somehow you're lying. The spell hadn't worn off yet. He had to tell the truth. The trick was in making sure she wouldn't believe it. The core is perfectly safe, he said. And he tried his hardest to sound sincere. So is the Iblistone. In fact, I was trying to get them myself. Fine then, interrogators it is, she said angrily. I gave you a chance. The Emperor's interrogators were not especially gentle, even by Weasel standards. Fortunately, Zenobia had locked him in the guest quarters on her ship, and she'd forgotten it had a toilet that, like all skyship toilets, could be vented into the abyss. This was not the sort of slippery fox he wanted to be, but just as they were about to land, he threw the latch, wrinkled his nose, and leapt through the open latrine.
That's just gross. This is really gross. Going down the toilet to make your escape, but I guess whatever works for him.
It was a short, safe landing. At least this part of the Nexus hadn't changed too much. Zenobia had been taking him to the Imperial outpost. She'd never expect him to go there by himself. Well, maybe she would. You never knew with her.
Hey, what's up, Jen? The feels are... I don't know. I actually don't know what the feels are right now. I'm trying to do the, trying to remember which one I'm trying to do right now, actually. I think the Sky Ripper is the one I'm doing, but I'm not sure about it at the current moment. It's weird. I wonder where that thing didn't move. Oh.
Bernardo knew Zenobia, and Zenobia knew him. She'd suspected a trick. Now he'd vanished. She would probably guess that was his plan all along. Perfect. Maybe she wouldn't use the Sky Ripper. At least not without taking it to the scientists at the observatory first. Meanwhile, the Emperor would be coming to the outpost personally. This could be good. Giving the Emperor all of the rebellion's secrets hadn't been quite the disaster he'd thought. It had drawn the Emperor out of the safety of his fleet. Bernardo could sneak into the outpost, and in a few sword strokes, he could win the war. But
Maybe.
the Emperor would be surrounded by his elite guard. Bernardo wondered if there was anything he could say that would confuse the old toad even more. Use word instead of his sword?
I actually haven't killed her today. Oddly enough, I have not killed her once. She killed me once. but then it gave me the I died thing, and like it didn't count towards a ending. So what the hell? Oh yeah, this is when I'm meeting the Emperor this time.
Was face to face with the Emperor's bodyguard. They looked very tough, but the Emperor held them back.
Oh, where's my daughter?
And how would I know that? Renato grinned at him.
She lured me here so that you could kill me, didn't she?
Ah, don't be ridiculous, said Renato, trying his best to sound convincing. She loves you.
Oh, I knew it. The rabbit told me I couldn't trust her.
Fucking Lapino.
The Emperor hopped out the door. His phalanx of bodyguards retreated carefully. Renato heard someone call, "Arrest her!" as they left. Well, that's a job well done, thought Renato. Now the fleet will be in all sorts of disarray. But maybe he could find her in the mountains. She always used to go to the mountains to hide from the world.
Huh.
Maybe he could even turn her against her father. Or maybe he could reap the benefits of the chaos
This
he'd
is
sown.
the route I didn't do.
It was time to report to the Rebel Council, and then launch the attack on a divided and very confused Imperial fleet.
Was the what toward me, her killing me, or was it toward what just happened? Because, yeah, to both.
Renato was very proud of himself. He told the Empire everything, but now they didn't believe anything, and it looked like the Emperor didn't trust his daughter anymore either. There were some advantages to having a slippery reputation, weren't there?
Both, yeah. Oh, man. It's been a weird 2 hours of stream, though. Like, I had to play the Lapino route again, but it only, like, made me get that ending I got that other day I streamed, which was weird. I was like... It was just strange. That was also the time where she killed me one time.
Renato wondered if he'd really fooled the Empire. He guessed he'd know soon enough. If the skies darkened with 1,000 dropships, then he'd know the Empire believed his map of the Rebel base's secret location. They certainly seemed to be looking for it. There were ravens everywhere. But where weren't there ravens these days?
Oh god. Let's get the rest of these stats. Dude, I'm so close to like finishing this board, it's ridiculous. Such a slow descent. So foreboding. Okay. Just like smashing things. It's very fun, even though if I don't need shit.
The Emperor would attack Zenobia. The Ravens, divided into two armies, would slaughter each other. And the rebellion could just show up and claim victory.
Maybe.
The council would be overjoyed that Renato had given away all their secrets. See? It was actually very fine weather. Except for the occasional shower of ravens. And no one was burning the ruins down with the mighty power of a god's eye. If the Empire believed anything he'd said, they certainly weren't showing it.
foxed.
Now you're foxed. Nice. Yo, we're like moving super. Oh, that's right. Okay. Down,
The long stairs.
down, down.
So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
I know. This game likes to be sneaky about how it like curses and stuff. Like you get curses, but then when it comes to our main dude here, he likes to be like clever about the way he's saying shit. It's funny, but I love it. That's what I love about this game.
As he told his hilarious adventures to the rebel council, he began to realize they weren't laughing. Just staring at him with those big bug eyes.
Zenobia let you escape?
Asked the speaker.
How do we know you're not a double agent?
Then
You
I
cray.
wouldn't tell you about her at all.
You crazy.
Maybe you're trying to sound like an idiot, so we don't realize how clever you are.
Croaked the speaker. No, I promise you, I really am that much of an idiot. Renato was about to say when a half-dozen
Oh,
Imperial
shit.
ships began to bomb the base. He's betrayed us! Croaked the toads, and Renato decided it would be good to be somewhere else. He boarded the Farfarer and got out of there. The wind ruffled
Wow.
Renato's fur the wrong way. So the rebels thought he was lying too? Because a half-dozen lousy dropships that probably just tripped over the rebel base? Okay, technically, he had betrayed its location, but not willingly. And he'd made up for it, hadn't he? Then something exploded. A cannon shot. The Farfarer plunged out of the clouds. The rebels had hit his ship. As the Farfarer plummeted towards the abyss, he launched himself into the sails of an Imperial ship.
Wow. Wow. He can't win, really. He really cannot win whatsoever.
The Farfarer was gone. It had been a beautiful ship. And fast. It could do the Kestrel run in 12 furlongs. So the salesman had told him. He would show
Hey,
them.
Star Wars reference.
He would be the hero of the final battle. They'd know whose side he was on then. That's what it meant to be a hero. To go on fighting, even when both sides were trying to kill you.
That's so true. Love me a good Star Wars reference, even though they like molded it to this game. It's still so good. I like it.
There it was again. The back door to the portal that went to the center of the fleet.
Hey, it's snowing again. That's what happened when you did the main game type, the main ending. It was snowing. So that makes you wonder how the hell this one's gonna end. That was like the only 2 times it ever snowed on this game. Oh, I was not paying attention that well.
See? Rebels were fighting ravens everywhere, and not a single weapon in sight. No one was summoning giant, no rain of fire.
What
Something
kind of
blew up nearby.
ending this is gonna be?
Renato decided it was not time to stop and ponder. Just as well. He liked acting much better than pondering. Renato reached the Emperor's ship, and there he saw a strange sight. Zenobia being led in shackles by Lapino
no.
with a squad of ravens. What? Lapino was working with the ravens? Was he some sort of
Have
traitor?
fun with the movie.
Of course Lapino was working with the ravens. But the Emperor still thought Zenobia was a traitor? Renato felt oddly bad about that.
Should he run down there and rescue her?
Oh, but she was the enemy.
But
Then
she's.
he heard a whistling sound.
But she's your love.
He looked straight up and saw a rebel ship. It was dropping rather large bombs.
Shit.
One of them kept getting bigger as it fell. Huh?
Oh,
Oh, we got an end? We've almost cleared the top row. That's good. Hero keeps on fighting everyone both sides. They're trying to kill him. Nice. And it's the flying circus. Okay. We only have 8 more to go, if I counted that right. Yeah, 8 more. 8 more to go. Okay. Trying to decide which one to do next. There's gotta be one that I'm missing somewhere. Still not sure.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer.
pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion, and he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Okay.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters.
The Iblis stone. It would whisper promises in his ear, offer him power for blood. But this time, Renato was sure he could master it.
And so, Renato went ostrich hunting.
Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away.
Were all these things the Iblis Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals? Frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
Whoa, personal space.
There had to be some way to use the Iblis Stone. It was old, wasn't it? People are so much cleverer now. And Renato was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people.
Oh, I didn't die for some reason when I did that. Interesting.
The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
Shit. I didn't mean to go there.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. It was the stone, eager, thirsty. Kill the Emperor's daughter. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once.
And he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control him.
Why not capture the core of Skyripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon.
What's the core?
Said the stone anxiously.
But even though Renato knew how evil the gem was,
Oh,
he had
yeah.
a clever plan for dealing with it.
Let me check first. This one is Fountain. No, I think I've done the Zenobia one, so I don't have to do that one. Okay, so this one.
The gem could give great power, but it was evil. But Renato had a plan. He would divide the stone into the power half and the evil half. He sought out the sage Calaveras.
Oh, you need a mirror of splitting.
Croaked Calaveras.
I can make one.
Calaveras set up various shiny things. And soon Renato was setting the stone down in the middle of Calaveras' lab. There was
Oh
a
wait,
flash.
no, this is the bed,
And
isn't
now
it?
Renato was looking at himself. Except with a mustache and a goatee and darker hair.
Okay.
There were two Iblis stones. One light and one dark. Renato took the light one. He felt a rush of great power. Now I can defeat the Emperor. Wait a minute. Unfortunately, he couldn't think of any way to use it without hurting someone. That wouldn't be nice. Give me that, said his evil-looking twin. And he drew his sword. He only got it halfway out of the scabbard when he fainted from the effort. Obviously, neither weak, evil Renato nor powerful, nice Renato was any threat to the Empire. After the Emperor's victory, they were exhibited in a museum.
Yeah,
until
I
time
remember this
ended,
one.
which was
So-
soon after.
There's nothing you can do on that one.
He
Okay.
had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
I really should start writing down those parts. So I have to do one of the other ones. It's not the Zenobia one, so I have to do the other one. Weird.
Every child could sing verses about the sky.
This is the only part I hate about it.
But
It makes you
ancient
do this whole
codices held hints
section
of
all
other
over again
things.
instead of just letting
A
you
stone that ate souls.
go back
a
to
ruby
like the
that drank
choices
blood.
page.
A jewel only a righteous man could give away.
Were all these things the Iblis stone,
Dumb.
long hidden in the buried temple?
I don't
Another
like I'm
ancient
really
item
quick
that
at
was
these.
only resurfacing now. Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals.
Time has a new announcement. They're really great. Great music. I wonder what great music is. Love is
The ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
Can you guys actually tell each other apart? 'Cause I'm thinking name tags.
not the best work there, but What? Oh, okay. I could go back, but oh well. It's fine. It's fine. Don't necessarily need
There had to be some
health.
way to use the Iblis stone. It was old, wasn't it?
People are so much cleverer now. And Renato was pretty sure he was cleverer than most people.
This is probably the other way. Holy shit, what the fuck just happened? I like went off the platform. What the hell? That was super weird.
The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
Oops. You start getting deja vu from doing the same things over and over again. It's fine.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. Who said that? It was the stone. Eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once,
And he had a sneaking suspicion the gem would try to control him.
why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. It's the core, said the stone anxiously.
But even though Renato knew how evil the gem was, he had a clever plan for dealing with it.
Wait. Hold on. What happens if you spare her? I never thought of that. Let's do that. I forgot there's an
Was he
option
listening to a talking
to,
rock?
to spare
Ah,
her.
but the rock had a point.
But I can't remember if I did it before. I probably did. And I'm gonna like have to do this shit all over again. I mean, I have time on my hands, so why not? But,
As he placed the impossibly black crystal in his gauntlet, Renato had a sudden vision. Charred fields covered in dead ravens below a black sun.
Was it the time of the lost gods, before the transcendent emperor? Was it the future? Feed the souls, it whispered. Take the power. He could feel the stone's hunger for souls.
I know.
Its thirst for blood.
I know I should
All
just
right,
like
I get
write
it.
down so I remember
This was
these
going
things,
to be
but
interesting.
I don't. I don't want to feed her to the stone, so I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna see if there's a way around it. If not, then you know, we'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's just I played so much of this game that I don't remember all the things that happened. All the routes are different.
The ravens on Zenobia's island were no match for Reynardo. They screamed as the stones sucked out their souls. And with each death, he felt stronger. Take the power, the stone told him.
But I don't wanna. Actually, I haven't been this way in a while. I think there's a reason why I don't go this way, but, you know, why the hell not? Oh no, I'm thinking of that other one. Where you gotta, with the little goggler dudes.
Ow, 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 ow.
I didn't get hurt that much. He's so dramatic. Okay, I'll open it. Alright. Dramatic. So much drama.
He couldn't do worse with Zenobia than he'd done with the core, could he?
Here comes the gogglers. Because I don't think... Is there... I want to go this way. Look, there's even a door. Why would they tease me like this? There's a door right there. And I can't go down there. What kind of bullshit? There's a fucking door right there. There's a door, you dumb game. Just let me go through the door. I could have went. I just thought it was gonna turn around too quick. Here we go. There she is.
Zenobia was waiting for Reynardo. She was alone, confident as always. Fire danced at the tips of her claws. Are you here to surrender? She seemed as cocksure as he felt. But she didn't know he had the stone. And I've missed you too, love. He chuckled. She spotted the stone and bolted without another word.
Oh boy, here we go. Alright, my dear. Here she is, once again.
Finally, Reynardo caught up to her. He had never seen her scared before. At school, she'd been the determined, brave one. Now her eyes were wide, frightened. He didn't like seeing her this way. Kill her, whispered the stone. You cannot win your rebellion without it. Please. No, said Zenobia. Not that way. Oh, they had been so close once. Could he really feed her soul to his demonic gem? But if he spared her, he would not get the full power of the stone. Oh, how could he be the hero he wanted to be?
Let's spare her. Because I think we've done the routes where we kill her. So, yeah. There's a middle ground somewhere, I know it. Has to be.
Reynardo hesitated. Zenobia was his greatest enemy. She was the Emperor's daughter and his greatest general, and the single person Reynardo least wanted to remove from this world, especially that way. She was holding her arms out before her, hands fluttering, fending him off with hopeless urgency. Nope, she was weaving a spell. He couldn't move.
Of course.
This thing is evil, she said. She slid the Iblistone out of its slot in his gauntlet and slipped it into a bag. Maybe we can learn from it.
She eyed him with a strange, wry, apologetic look. I missed you too. And before he could move again, she was gone. Learn from the Iblistone? What did that mean? Would she take it to the palace or to the observatory on the Nexus? If she thought it was evil, she wouldn't want it in the palace.
And, after all, it was evil, wasn't it?
Maybe I can outrace her to the observatory, thought Reynardo. Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer.
Okay, that answers that question.
Reynardo felt a little sick. Ever since Zenobia had taken the stone from him, he'd felt an ache that wouldn't go away. He missed it. He wanted it back. He needed it back. Why hadn't he killed her when he had the chance? She was the enemy. He hadn't even seen her in 14 years.
Oh my
Why
god,
had
this
he
is a
hesitated?
long ass time.
You're a sucker for
I
an
never-
empowered woman.
I
Reynardo kicked himself.
I never
Don't
noticed
make that
that.
mistake again.
Dude, you know you love her. I know that comes from a movie, but I can't remember which one it is. Oh man. It's something with Sandra Bullock in it too. It's awesome. So close. I'm so close to that next
Zenobia thought the stone was evil.
thing.
Was it?
Well, yes, but he still longed to have it back.
He'd felt so good killing ravens with it, and yet he'd felt unclean ever since he'd touched it. She confused him. She'd made him want to be a better fox, and then she'd abandoned him, never telling him she was the Emperor's daughter, never contacting him since. Well, who was she to tell him the stone was evil?
this is the version where they're alive.
The scientists'
I
toes
believe.
were pointing arcane instruments at the stone and looking at it through prisms and reflections.
Mine, said Renato as he took back the stone.
Well, we need it for science, croaked the toads. So he killed them. He felt better immediately. Smarter, too. I thought you'd never come for me, whispered the stone. Then, a far speaker toad croaked in something like Zenobia's voice.
Leonardo, leave the stone with the toads. It will swallow your soul. It will kill everyone you love.
That did seem vaguely familiar, but Renato had an army to lead.
Okay.
An
Now
empire
an
to
option
bring
I need
down.
to do. Alright.
I know you can fight this thing.
Zenobia continued in the far speaker's croak.
You let me live. You know how evil it is. It will destroy you, Leonardo. It will destroy everything you love.
He had tried to convince himself that this time he would control the Iblis stone. But he could feel his will becoming brittle.
She was right. He would get rid of it. Right? Now. Or now. He didn't really want to. I know. I'll go to the mountains, Renato thought. I'll find the strength to do it in the peace and quiet there. As the Farfarer landed at the foot of the mountains, Renato was surprised to find Lapino there. What are you doing here?
Oh,
Oh, I know this part.
you wouldn't believe it. I was stowed away on an Imperial courier ship, dressed up as a combat nurse carrying a general's beak transplant.
This is not a great time, said Renato, who was pretty sure he did not, in fact, believe Lapino's story.
That's when you need your friends.
Said Lapino. I just need some peace and quiet, said Renato, and grimly set out on the path.
Oh, interesting. So this isn't the horn. There's a point. There's another route where we just kill him. So that's interesting. We didn't kill him. And I remember the first time that happened, I actually missed it because I think I was texting my girlfriend at the time. Who's left? Oh, did I? Oh. I had went around him. There's nothing ever on that one.
Renato told his friend how he had slaughtered the toads and how he had nearly slain Zenobia.
A terrible burden, this Iblis stone.
Sympathized, the rabbit. Yeah, but I need it. For the rebellion.
Do you now? You know, you were a pretty fine fighter before you were wielding a demonic decoration. Oddly, the sword wasn't whispering at him to kill Lupino.
He should
Up
have.
ahead in the mountains, there was a peaceful spot. If he could rid himself of his burden anywhere, it was there.
Lupino is crazy. He needs to die, but, you know, I guess not this time. God, I hope y'all did not hear my mom. My little brother. Dear God. Oh, I did say I wanted to go this way. This part of the song. Have I read this one? Oh, yep. I think it's because it just took me a different way to get here.
Ooh, sparkly, thought Renato.
Renato thought it would make a difference. Snatching the Iblistone before the Emperor could get it. It would destroy him. Zenobia and Lupino, they were both trying to save him. Peace. That was what he needed.
Oh, I have a skill point. I'm surprised I haven't done this one yet, but I think I was waiting to do that one. Let's do this one. We're almost done with it anyway. This dude right here.
So much for peace and quiet. There was Lupino. Again.
Can we kill
You're
him?
stronger than some dumb rock, Lupino said.
Can we just kill
Let's
him?
just bury it, and no one will ever find it again.
Can we just...
Renato could feel the spirit energy of all those dead ravens inside him, pecking away.
The rabbit was right. Even if the rabbit was a traitor, he was still right.
God.
He tore the Iblis stone from his gauntlet and threw it into the hole Lupino had dug. The stone was silent. Probably sulking.
I
Now
doubt it.
whoop those Imperials, said Lupino.
Oh, dude.
Are you coming? No, I can't come with you. It's my old injury, you know. Recently, it's been acting up terrible. I'd be no use to you at all. So Renato boarded the Farfarer alone.
Yeah, we know he's sneaking.
Renato felt lonely on board the Farfarer. How could his old friend Lupino, miraculously escaped from the Empire, leave him to face the final battle alone? Well, he'd abandoned Lupino before, hadn't he? It was only fair.
No,
And
Lupino's
of
about to
course
betray.
He felt lonely. He'd given up the Iblis stone and all the souls he
It's
fed
that
it.
simple.
Of course he felt alone. But he had done the right thing. It had been hard to do, but there was no better feeling than that. Zenobia would be so proud of him.
That's debatable. That is definitely debatable.
The battle, alas, was not going well.
Knife to a
He no longer
gunfight.
had the stone, and he'd never gotten the core. Lupino wasn't with him, and he was up against Zenobia, out there somewhere, maneuvering the Emperor's forces. The rebels had been outnumbered from the start, and he still had that aching longing for the stone. But that is what it means to be a hero. He would fight his way to Zenobia. He would show her what he was capable of.
It just reminded me
him,
of,
with no diabolic accoutrements.
Kieran Page's
He would win, no
article
matter the odds.
in a Daredevil season 2. Which is
Renato had a feeling
my favorite
that was
parts.
the back door to something. But what?
snow again. Snow again. That's the third time. I wonder what it means. Really? Come on. You want me at a specific spot for me to just grab that.
Yes, that was it. Pirouette, slash, parry, dodge. Renato had never done such good work in a fight. He wished the poets were along to sing of his exploits for his old age. Maybe he wouldn't have to kill Zenobia. Maybe he could defeat her and take her prisoner. Then he could turn the tide against the Emperor. If she wasn't crowned princess, once this was all over, she'd have more time for him, right?
I jumped too quick.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Again. This time, he'd make an end of him. He'd screwed up last time, but he had a good feeling about this time.
He screwed up last time.
By some miracle, Renato fought his way to the Emperor's ship.
Okay.
He was exhausted, bleeding, but he'd found the strength to reject the stone. Zenobia came out of the ship. "Renato!" she shouted, and then she fell down
What
and
the hell?
died. Lapino was behind her, wielding a sword that seemed to suck all the light out of the sun. "You idiot! You threw the stone away!"
Oh, of
cried
course.
Lapino.
Yeah.
"You said it was evil." "It hates sanctimonious prigs like you," laughed Lapino.
Lapino's the
"We're
worst.
having a grand old time." Renato turned and ran. But no matter where he ran, Lapino jumped in front of him until Renato was cornered. That boy could hop.
That boy could
You
hop.
wouldn't do
That's
this to an
funny.
old friend, would you? Cried Renato. "You mean this?"
Oh,
said Lapino as he
Ow.
slid the sword into Renato's guts. "Damn it!
that's pretty.
Again?"
That's pretty shitty. Well, I know what end that is. We finished the top, didn't we? Or am I wrong? Yeah, we finished the top. Yeah. Nice. What are friends for? For killing you up, apparently. A hero doesn't need diabolical recruitment to beat unsurmountable odds. Wow. Okay. Jeez. Well, I will definitely be finishing this another time. I'm hungry now. But holy crap, we've done a lot today in this almost 3.5 hour stream. It was really cool. We're almost done! Yay! Which is awesome. Well, we completed all of Lapino, so we don't have to do those anymore. We still got some Zenobia ones to do, but I don't know how we're gonna get them. And then the Iplis, and this old boy. Alright, well, I'm gonna relax, and chill out. I'm undecided if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. If not, it'll be just sometime, maybe Sunday. Let's go with Sunday, since that's usually when I like to stream anyway. So, yeah, thank you for joining me.